Let's start with January 6th. There is no evidence that it is an inside job.
Look at now the video footage of actually throwing explosives and rubber bullets into what was a peaceful crowd.
What do you mean by entrapment?
Entrapment means that the police goaded people to do something otherwise than they otherwise wouldn't have done, and then they arrest them for actually doing it.
I was shaking listening to him talk because a lot of people don't know that is one step away from Nazi propaganda coming out of his mouth.
But he's such an impediment at these debates that you cannot break through because of his nonsense.
Hey folks, he's back at it again. Vivek is absolutely carving up the left-leaning liberal media. As I said in the previous video, he is going to send these people into a meltdown. Welcome back to One and Done. It's your boy George, and hey, as I said, the left-leaning media, they're going to paint this picture. They're going to make out as though Nikki Haley held her own. She was a calm, composed, strong, independent woman. Now, if that was the case, she would have went viral for the right reasons. She went viral for all the wrong reasons. She got absolutely destroyed by Vivek, embarrassed, humiliated. Her poll numbers have already gone down. Ron DeSantis, who had a strong performance, has actually overtaken her. And Krispy Kreme, he's not going anywhere. The only place he should go to is the local buffet and bury himself. Now, the left-leaning media, the left-leaning lunatics, look, words cannot explain it. You really have to see for yourself. I don't know why people continue. Well, actually, they're not really continuing because their numbers of viewerships is falling by the day. They can't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? Don't take my word for it. Watch your lying eyes. Roll the tape.
He said he was happy to get his 3-year-old son to help Haley find Israel on a map. Body language expert Patty Wood with us for our favorite segment when it comes to political events. What's more important, your body language when you're delivering a hit and landing a punch, or when you're taking a punch?
Actually, both are key indicators that we're looking for about just how strongly the person feels when they're speaking, so on point, and how they respond, specifically in this case, to attacks.
All right, so break it down for us between these two.
Well, what's actually terrifying, you're not seeing it, but he's pointing his finger at her, wagging the finger over and over again as he yells and gives her verbal insults. Even in isolation, the verbal insults would be strong, but specifically, he's doing this at a woman. And in my work on threat assessment and domestic violence, that's a red flag warning that that man wants to physically attack you. That combination of cues over and over again. Seems like a small thing. Oh, it's just a speech. But even a few years ago, nobody in a debate pointed their finger because it's a symbolic weapon. It has a strong message.
Man, that woman needs to get a date. Listen, he's pointing his finger at everybody. It's a debate. Chris Christie pointed his finger. I mean, who cares? It's a debate. He's dropping WNDs, words of non-destruction. Come on, bruh.
All right. And
I wasn't happy to see
I want to be careful in terms of not saying that there was no violence last night. So I want to be careful. They make the point that didn't.
Right, it was
that didn't happen.
symbolic
But no,
violence,
but look, it was
symbolic violence.
It was certainly aggressive, and he got more aggressive throughout the evening. What did
you chomping your teeth looks damn violent.
You make of the way she accepted that? She's a politician. I mean, yes, a woman, but at the same time, you want to be the president of the United States. You want George Washington's job. If you can't take Vivek Ramaswamy, I don't know how you take on Putin.
Well, she actually did a really good job. There was at one point where they all were attacking her for the first 12 minutes of the debates.
See what I'm saying?
And even under the pressure of those verbal assaults with a lot of yelling from several different candidates against her, she responded very lightly and did a really nice beauty pageant smile. But most honestly, her voice was actually lifted and soft. That told me at a real primal level.
I don't believe a word you're saying.
It was interesting.
We have that, right? And there's been a lot of neuropsychology about dealing and responding to things with humor.
I can't take anymore. Is this woman actually talking to other women? Ladies, listen. If you're going to see this woman dip real quick, she's got some screws loose. I'm telling you right now. I can't take any more of this.
Nikki Haley has had 3 great debates where she's really come on strong. I didn't think that she had the opportunity to be as strong as she was tonight. She parried a little bit, but she did take some real hits. And the Republican base is going to remember some of the things that were said about her tonight.
Ashley, your impressions?
I do agree. I think Nikki Haley took a lot of incoming, but I think it's because she's the strongest of all of them. I mean, I was very impressed with how she handled herself. She actually looked like the only adult on the stage. You know, it was almost masterful how she kind of took a step back and let the boys fight it out and then let Christy do her bidding. And it made her look very presidential and big in that room, in that space, in a way that the others sort of did not. I disagree with Kevin. I don't think DeSantis was impressive at all. I don't remember him, don't remember anything he said.
Can't do anymore.
I'm not really sure.
Now, see what I'm talking about? See how ridiculous that was? There was plenty more, but I couldn't take any more. It was garbage. But hey, let's look at some other videos where Vivek continues to destroy the media.
Let's start with January 6th.
Sure.
There is no evidence that it is an inside job. It was a fringe conspiracy theory that the Trump-appointed FBI director, Christopher Wray, has said explicitly over and over is just not true.
So I appreciate the opportunity to address it. I was an anti-woke crusader leaving the business world, and if you had asked me 3 years ago, is there some chance January 6th is an inside job? I would have said that was crazy talk. I would say, looking at the facts of the video footage that have come out, Dana, it is shocking that you still haven't gotten a clear answer of how many federal agents were in the field that day.
Yeah, back in the days, Vivek would have thought that was an inside job. That would have been crazy talk. He could only go by what he was seen and what he was shown and what he was told. But now that this footage has come out, and think about it, why would they hide the footage if this was an insurrection? Why would they hide the footage? Why wouldn't they just release all the footage? If it was that bad, if it was, some people were saying it was worse than 9/11, come on. And how the hell can it be an insurrection? You know, these people who came to the White House for an insurrection, okay, got my water, got my flag, got my, what else do you need for an insurrection? Sandwich, put your boots on, let's go. They get to the Capitol, they forgot one thing that you need for an insurrection. They didn't bring their guns. They come to overturn the government and they didn't bring their bang bangs. How the hell is this an insurrection?
Look at now the video footage of actually throwing explosives and rubber bullets into what was a peaceful crowd, then releasing to the public what came in response to that. But now look at the video footage that was released, and I'm glad we're talking about it because viewers deserve to look at that footage. Capitol Police literally letting people in who were then now prosecuted. Some of them have gone on to commit suicide because of what the government's doing. That is a case of entrapment. And I think the government has not been transparent about this.
An inside job suggests that everybody who attacked the Capitol was part of that.
I didn't say that, but I was saying that there's entrapment going on. There's entrapment going on, and this looks like a case of entrapment. And if you look at even over the last day. What do you mean by
entrapment?
Entrapment means that the police goaded people to do something that they otherwise wouldn't have done, and then they arrest them for actually doing it.
And you don't think it was actually the former president who was trying to get people?
I think that was the media narrative. Now look at actually a hard case.
We heard him with our own ears. I'm going to ask you about a
case and see what you think about this, right?
No, they selectively edited the video, okay? They cut out the part where he said go to the Capitol and protest peacefully.
You guys said this for a long time about the Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot. Suddenly gone silent after it comes out at trial that absolutely that was a case of entrapment, which is why 2 of those people were acquitted. I think it is startling how much the government has systematically lied. And I think it's both parties over the course of the last 25 years.
But on the
left used to be better at pointing this out and being skeptical of the government, but now it's the right.
Which is the most aggressive, offensive attack on the U.S. Capitol and on democracy itself that we have seen in our lifetime and in many, many lifetimes. To say without evidence that it was an inside job.
I'm not saying it without evidence. I think that what we're seeing now is the video footage that's come out. I was in a different place before a lot of that evidence came out, but you have to respond to the evidence. What is your response, or what is anybody else on CNN's response to the video footage that was released of Capitol Police literally just peacefully allowing people into the Capitol?
What we know
or
is
shooting
that
into peaceful crowds?
850 people have been convicted of crime.
But the reality because many of them were
Vivek,
convicted before
cook
that
her.
information was released. Because
And do you think that former President Trump has
Dana.
anything to do with
No,
this?
because you're bringing up a really good point, and your audience and everybody deserves to know the truth about this. Normally, there's a rule in constitutional law. It's called the Brady Rule. You have to turn over exculpatory evidence to the other side. In this case, it wasn't turned over because the DOJ said Congress was sitting on it. Now Congress has released it. That's why I said I would pardon many of those peaceful protesters because
I
want to
go to something else that you said, which I think.
See, she's not interested. I think her name's Dana. She's not interested in facts. She's talking over him. He's given her clear and concise answers, explanations, right? Thrown in the facts. She's not interested in facts. She just wants narrative. She wants spin. And also, just notice her eyes blinking, 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 blinking. Is she even thinking? She is a puppet. Her puppet masters are probably in her ear saying, cut him off, cut him off, cut him off. Got to cut him off now. Cut him off. Don't let him speak. When will they ever learn? You can't mess with Vivek. He's going to cook you. Dana, she's been cooked before by Vivek on a couple of separate occasions. She just won't learn. Don't come to a gunfight with your makeup kit. People, wake up. Stop letting your feelings get in front of the facts. I used to be like that. I used to get into the feels. But stuff just stopped adding up. You got to wake up at some stage. I woke up reasonably late.
It's not a left or right issue. I think this is a civil libertarian issue.
I want to go to something else that you said that I think is really important to explore, and that is the great replacement theory.
Yeah.
That, I'm sure you know, is a theory that has been adopted by
Democrats.
White supremacists who believe that people of color, Jews, are trying to overtake the white people in America. It has been used in mass murders from not even just America, worldwide.
You've used this broad, a lot of people that mean a lot of different things. But I will be very specific about what I meant because I posted this yesterday, even before this debate. I've been very precise, and I'd encourage people to look at 10 hard truths I posted yesterday, including that video footage from Jan 6 for our last discussion. People should view it. Look at the video I posted yesterday of Biden and Mayorkas 10 years ago expressly discussing, and these are Biden's words, not mine, about non-white populations exceeding white populations in the U.S. through immigration, and that being not a bad thing, his words, not mine.
Now, I'm happy to be corrected if I'm wrong, but wasn't it the Democrats or the Dixiecrats that wanted slavery and the Republicans, they wanted to end slavery? Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And the Democrats definitely brought in the Jim Crow laws. And they also created the Great Society Act. And how well has that been going? And there's absolutely a double standard because this stuff comes out of Jim Crow Joe Biden's mouth and people don't believe what he says. And watch what happens. Anyway, let's listen to Jim Crow Joe.
Not only our Muslim communities, but African communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, and the wave still continues. It's not going to stop, nor should we want it to stop. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things I think we can be most proud of. So there's a second thing in that black box, an unrelenting stream of immigration, nonstop. Folks like me who are Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America from then and on will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing. That's a source of our strength.
I think we should be able to have this conversation in the open without using fringe theories.
But when you use the term great replacement theory, that is
exactly what that refers to.
But you understand that term is something that evokes anti-Semitism,
and it evokes piece of this. I'm against anti-Semitism, and I've spoken accordingly.
But people who have,
but I think we also have to admit the truth of what's happening, Dana.
But
this is coming through Biden's own words.
This is being used
10 years ago
for killings in Buffalo, for a killing in Poway, California.
If it was a Republican saying the same things that Biden said 10 years ago,
do you understand how
somehow you'd call it a conspiracy theory.
What's dangerous, Dana? What's dangerous is the propaganda you guys are spewing. Stop your race baiting, okay? People just want to get on with their lives. My gosh, these puppets on a string, they are ridiculously sickening. What's most dangerous is the propaganda. Propaganda these guys are spewing. If everyone comes together, they're stronger. But what they want to do is they want to divide. Race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and whatever else, political parties. They want to divide. They want to weaken everybody, right? And then they want everyone fighting against each other and amongst themselves. It's a magic trick. Then they can go about all their own shenanigans while everyone else is fighting with each other.
It's not even just a conspiracy theory. It's dangerous
I
because
disagree. I think what's dangerous is the suppression of open dialogue. Well, look, I think that we need to have more open dialogue in this country. And when you tell people they can't
discrimination.
speak, that's when they scream. If you tell people they can't scream or object, that's when they tear things down.
It's the term.
And
Great
so
replacement
you and I
theory.
share something in common. We don't want to see violence in this country. I think the way we're going to get there is close the gap between what people will say in private and what they will say in public. Right now, there's a gap between those two things that is as big as I've seen in my lifetime. I think that is dangerous. I think that is a good way to get January 6th being a preview of what's to come in this country, unless we're able to have open conversation
and it's
without
not
people
when
being labeled
hear great
as a
replacement
racist
theory,
or a conspiracy theorist
a dog
or a
whistle.
xenophobe or whatever.
Because of what what it means to
me, I
people
have
who
been
are
crystal clear. I'm the kid of immigrants. I'm proud of that. Legal immigrants who came to this country.
I'm not going to use the term anymore because it is a dog whistle for people out there who are looking for reasons to go after people of color and Jews. But let's just assume that was something that was happening. Is that so wrong? What's wrong with people
First of all,
color
let me just pause right there.
Being a majority in this
Let me
country?
just pause right there. This is a legitimate discussion for us to have, but we can't have it both ways. To say that this is something that we're actually advocating for, it's an express policy, and we acknowledge that it's part of an express policy objective. Then let's actually get to the debate about whether this is good or not for the country, right? And so I embrace that, but. Thank you for getting to a useful place rather than just saying anybody who's saying this, if a person on the right says it, it's a conspiracy theory. If a Democrat says it's immigration policy. And my view is I don't care about skin color. I could care less for skin color. Do you share the ideals of this country?
The Jews will not replace us.
Do you
comes
share-
from the great replacement theory. I know you have to go, but just go back and look at that and think about.
And I would say go back and look at air for the people that are watching this. The videos that Mike Johnson has released of Capitol Police allowing them in. We should be able to at least have that debate in the open and air the video of Biden saying exactly what otherwise is described as a conspiracy theory with Mayorkas 10 years ago. Let's have honest debate. We can disagree, but don't label somebody a insurrectionist or a racist or a homophobe or a denier or anything else as a way of silencing debate. We should talk about it on the merits. And that last question you asked is exactly what many Republicans also want to be debating in the open, whether or not they agree.
Merits, facts, that's what we need to be doing.
Amen. So show the videos, and I think it'll be good for the viewers.
All right. Thank
This was getting really hard to watch towards the end. Thank goodness he had to go because I was going to go. I mean, she was just sickening to watch. I'm sorry. That exchange was ridiculous. Vivek's actually having an honest, open conversation, something that we all should have. Now, if your positions hold up, fantastic. Good. Maybe I can learn something from it. Maybe it's something that maybe you have a perspective that I've never even thought of. And I'm happy to, I'm happy to change my mind if there's a valid reason for me to change my mind. But these people on the left, they don't even want to have the discussion. They want to use all these buzzwords and they want to change meanings of things, but they don't want to have open discussion and open debate. They want to shut it down because there's no substance behind what they're saying. I'm getting repetitive, but anyway.
you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Anderson,
Dana.
back to you.
See ya.
Thanks very much. Back with the panel here in New York.
Well, he's always joy.
The smug, condescending way that he just spews this poison out is very, very dangerous because he won't stop Trump, but he's going to outlive Trump by about 50 years.
What poison was he spitting out? Van Jones is an absolute race beta, and he's beta. He's a simp and a wimp. He's Suki Lalard when Joe Biden won the presidency. Like, pull yourself together, bro. He's one of the reasons, almost single-handedly, why people like Andrew Tate have blown up. Because he is so effeminate. If you're going to cry over Joe Biden winning the presidency, well, you got what you wanted, buddy. And look what's happened. Okay, you've got a senile, corrupt politician leading you guys down the path of destruction. I'm not even going to give him any more time.
It's pretty clear he's not a serious candidate for president. If you now look at how he's behaved at every debate, it's very tactical, right? He is all about trying to find a way to almost hijack the debate in some form. Perhaps it's coincidental. I have no evidence, but it seems that he is able to hijack and attack the person Trump would like to see fail the most. And he just comes across like Trump's best asset on that stage each and every time. And then when he goes with his loony conspiracy theories, what do? They fit right into what Trump's trying to do. So he's really an impediment, I think, for both DeSantis and Nikki Haley. Like, there's a point here. Look, you got to deal with a troll when they run for president. But he's such an impediment at these debates that you cannot break through because of his nonsense.
What loony conspiracy theories? Right? What loony conspiracy theories? Name one. Actually, let me know in the comments. What loony conspiracy theories has he raised? I don't think I've heard one. Right? He's questioned things. There's nothing wrong with questioning things because things don't add up. This left-leaning liberal media, they want to believe everything they hear. In fact, it's not everything they hear. Their stuff is scripted for them and they can't go off script. And that's why they're singing off the same hymn sheet. Just look when MSNBC, CNN, ABC, they all come out with their news bulletins. It's almost word for word the same BS. They are in unison. They are all puppets. If you want to see the truth, if you want to see facts, you've got to watch the long form podcast. That's why they're blowing up. Anyway, I've said this before.
We have no idea how Ukraine has spent $200 billion of our money. We're forking over more taxpayer money.
Do you see how they fight? These guys are the best fighters in the world.
And I'm not going to stand for that.
Ukrainians are probably the best fighters in the world.
Ukrainians are the best fighters in the world? Man, I'm sure they're giving a good account of themselves or trying their hardest. I've got no doubt about that. But how do you come to that conclusion? Why are they better than the Russians? Or vice versa? I'm not saying who's better than who, but why would that be your argument? That is ridiculous.
Democracy.
Ukraine is fighting for their sovereignty, and they were invaded. They would have invaded.
Reported, Ukraine has actually assassinated a former presidential candidate from 2019.
So
but the media doesn't like to report that.
There's only one person that sounds naive, and that's this. I think his name's Kilmeade, right? He's a warmonger. Him, Hannity. I think Hannity's also a warmonger. The worst thing that happened to Fox is that they got rid of Tucker Carlson. And look how bad that turned out for Tucker Carlson. I think he got a couple of 100 million views interviewing Donald Trump on X. He just wants to see money being spent hand over fist for nothing. What's the outcome, mate? Where's this heading? Where's it going? Who's winning? Ukraine a democracy? Please.
So naive.
Well,
you give up Ukraine, and then in a few years you'll be criticizing Joe Biden for giving up Ukraine.
I respectfully, we can respectfully, Brian, I think that if I called Nikki Haley naive, you guys would be having a conniption. Let's be honest about that. But you want to call me naive? I actually understand what the heck I'm talking about here.
Exactly.
The fact of the matter is, I think it is offensive that people would sooner use $200 billion of our resources to protect some other nation's foreign border that's not a democracy, when in fact we're not even doing that effectively.
You can do both. It's not either or.
We're doing neither.
It's neither. It's not either or.
And that's the fact of the matter. And I think this neocon wisdom needs to be relegated
to the dustbins of history. Forget neocon wisdom. No one buys into that. Just give up Eastern Europe. Just give up Eastern Europe. Why not?
Well, Brian Kilmeade just got cooked at the end there. The guy is super emotional about this war that's never ending. It's going to be a never ending war. They're just going to be throwing money hand over fist. He says he can do two things at once: look after the border, look after, what's going on in Ukraine and going on in Israel. No, you can't. Look at your border, okay? You can't do two things, three things at once. Look at the streets. And he's talking about protecting the Ukraine democracy. It's not a democracy. What about the democracy of the United States? Look at Donald Trump. You calling this a democracy? The deep state's coming after him, and everyone can see it. That's why his numbers are skyrocketing through the roof. Keep going after him. Let's see what happens. So tell me what you think about Vivek. Is he trying to have a conversation of substance? Is he bringing up real issues and trying to address them? Or is he talking out his butt? And what about the left liberal media and their response? What do you think about them? Are they right? I'd love to see what you have to say in the comments, and I look forward to responding. Hey, thanks again for tuning in. I look forward to catching you on the next video. Before I dip, make sure you like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.